Hey everybody, I'm Stacy Lyn, and today I am making the best homemade ice cream ever. And it's made with a custard base. It is delicious and I can't wait to get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is pour in a whole 4 cups of heavy cream. Yes, that is what I said, a whole 4 cups of heavy cream. Look at that. Now, you can cut this down. If you don't need to make a lot, you can surely make half of this or even, quarter it. But we have a lot of people that are excited about ice cream, so I will be pouring 4 cups of milk in here too. So heavy whipping cream and milk. A lot of times, if you want it a little bit more smooth, you can use half and half as opposed to the milk. But the milk is fabulous and that's the way that I like it. So that is what we're gonna be doing. So I'm gonna heat this up, and the next thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna get my daughter to come in here, and in a few minutes we're gonna be tempering this. So I'm gonna take some of this hot mixture that I'm gonna bring almost to a boil, and then I'm going to temper it with this eggs that I'm gonna have here, eggs and sugar. So I've got 12 eggs. So far 4 cups of milk and 4 cups of heavy cream, and then now I've got 12 egg yolks. So that is what is here, and then I'm gonna add 2.5 cups of sugar to this. All right, so then I'm gonna get this really good and mixed. Now you could use less sugar if you wanted to. You could just use a cup, but I think adding that little bit extra sugar helps a lot in the process. So it's really not that hard to do. And my husband, I was talking to him a little bit earlier. He was telling me to make sure that I told you men out there, if you like to be doing something, because men seem to like to do something all the time, when they have barbecues or when people come over. He likes to make the hamburgers. He likes to do all of that kind of stuff. Well, this is something that the men could do. They could be making the ice cream. While he said, while the women, they're always having to watch the kids and the kids are getting into this and that. And he said, but when you start churning the homemade ice cream, you can do that. You can have one of the kids do it. You could do a handheld kind of ice cream churn, and you could churn it for about like 20 minutes or so. So I want you to meet my daughter because she's gonna come and help me with this egg mixture. So Graylin, in just a minute, it's easier with 2 people. So if you could come on in and meet everybody, that would be great. So I don't know if all of you have met my oldest daughter. This is Graylin, and she is a very, very good cook. So she is finally getting to do some cooking now. She's been in school, so she has had her up to her eyeballs and over in doing papers. So I like to write because I have cookbooks, and so I was checking her writing, but now she is checking my writing. So that's been a lot of fun. Am I okay writer? Do you think I'm good?
You're a good writer.
Oh,
good writer.
You are. She is so good, y'all. One day you've got to read all of her stuff. It's just truly amazing. But anyway, she's getting a chance to help me in the kitchen, and so I'm excited about that. So I'm going to leave this to you, and then when it gets to be time to temper it, we will do that. So a couple of facts that I have learned about ice cream. So anything that you think of too about ice cream, because we've been making homemade probably every weekend of the summer for the past several years. So we've come across some good recipes, some that aren't so good. Different people in our family like it different ways. You like it a little bit more like gelato. I like it a little bit more like soft serve. I like mine straight out of the container. And soft serve type ice cream, kind of like dairy cream, but it's kind of airy. And then the other thing is, y'all like it a little bit, you and your oldest brother like it a little bit harder than I like it. But
well, you like it right out of the machine, which is like way too soft.
But it, I like mine melted though. We were talking about that earlier at lunch. When you have a cobbler and you have that ice cream and it melts all over the cobbler, that's the way I like it. But some of y'all really like it to stay cold, and you want it to be ice cream, real ice cream. So, anyway, what we're gonna do today, you can do when you're freezing it, after you have done where you start hearing that motor, going, it'll eventually stop. Or not stop, but it'll eventually, the motor you'll see is having a little bit of a hard time continuing to keep on with, cranking because it's getting thicker, and that's the time to stop it. And to put towels all over the top. And I'm just telling you this because I'm not going to show you the final product in this video, but I will be showing it in another video that I'm going to be having. But since this is kind of like a live, I can't really do that because it would take 45 minutes. And I know you don't want to hear me talking for 45 more minutes. So anyway, but you would put the towels on top of it. And that would help it to insulate, because when it has the ice and the salt, it gets to be around, 10 degrees? I think it's like,
I think it was something like that.
10 degrees in there. And so that is a great temperature, but it's still not as cold as you really need to have it if you want it to get really, hard and like ice cream. So, but anyway, that's what we're going to do today. And then we're going to eat it right out of the container today, but we're going to have extra. So we'll put that in inside of a container and put it in the freezer. And if it's airtight, then you can have it the next day. But a lot of times, homemade ice cream is really not that great the next day, and we would end up throwing out a lot of ours. So you'll want to try your best, like ask your neighbors to come over, or whatever you have to do, to share your ice cream. So trying to get this good and hot. So it should be heating up pretty good here in just a second. Another thing that I have done before that's good, now this is going to be a true custard, but you can put a little bit of cornstarch or flour as a stabilizer to make your custard, to make it where your eggs do not curdle in the mixture, the milk mixture. And if they, that helps a whole lot. I make the coconut cream pie. It's more like a pastry cream, and we learned
especially if you have flour in
yes.
it.
And so I put flour in it. I don't put cornstarch in it, but you could put cornstarch in this, or you could put flour in it. I've seen that too, and it'll stabilize it. But we're making a pure, straight across the board custard. And this custard you could use as a what is that, like a creme anglaise? Is that how you say that?
You could.
Could you do that? Could you not do that?
If you could do that or not.
I think you can. And then when you add the cornstarch, then it becomes a pastry cream, and you can put that in donuts. You can put that, and Europe is where all of this, started to begin with, and they were making, what was it? It was donuts, but eclairs.
Yes.
So this is a great cream for that, as well. So I don't know. This might be hot enough. Let's see.
It's got to be just boiling.
Oh, really? Okay. You did make it more than me last year. Yeah, y'all, I was like, I'm tired of making this. And so, this is like getting old. Although I liked eating it. I just, I was by the end of the summer, and you and your brother were like, no, we're going to do this. So we had peach ice cream last year. We had, what else did we have? Blueberry.
Peanut butter.
We've done, and we have found this, that if you make homemade jellies, that because it already has the sugar in it, and the berries have already cooked a little bit since you've already made the jelly, then you don't get that ice crystal deal with like your peaches or your berries and stuff like that, because it has so much water content, and you've already got the water content boiled out, when you've done that, and then you've added the sugar so you can swirl it in. And I think one of the best times is when y'all put it in towards the end of the swirling.
Yes.
I call it when it's inside the ice cream thing swirling, but when it's in the end of that, and it will just make like a nice
and when it's swirl. Like a jelly or something, you don't have the seeds in it either.
Yes.
So
that's true. But if you have like a jam,
depending on what, if it was a strawberry jam, but if it was blackberry jam, you probably wouldn't want it.
And there's a place here called Peach Park. This is almost getting ready, y'all. So Peach Park, and they make the best peach ice cream. And it doesn't get that crystallized. It's not as much anyway. It does a little, but nobody seems to be bothered by that. All right, is this looking good to you?
It's getting close.
Okay. All right. So we've got 2.5. If y'all are just now listening, we have 2.5 cups of sugar to 12 eggs. And so we're kind of debating on whether to add even more, because that makes it more creamy. Okay, so we want to look at this. We're going to turn this down. So we brought this up to a boil, and this is what it's supposed to look like. So I am going to add this while she is stirring. All right, I'm just going to add it slowly. There we go.
Okay.
All right. Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, can I add another one?
Yeah, you can now.
All right, I'm going to add one more, and maybe even another one after that. There we go. Okay, so we do not want the eggs to curdle. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to add one more to this, and then we should be able to add it to the other. Okay, here we go. Yum, yum, yum. It's already looking so good. I like it just plain. And Millie, she's been making a little bit of pudding. Do you want one more? Or are you
Probably
good?
add one more.
All right, here we go. She made a chocolate pudding that was just so dreamy the other night. It was so yummy. It reminded me of the, which it was better than this, but the Jell-O mixture. All right. Okay, so now I will be the stir. All right, and then we'll add that slowly in. Okay, so we do not want any lumps in this, but the thing is we're going to put it over a sieve in just a few minutes, and we will get any lumps that are in it out. So we will have a pure, wonderful, delicious, amazing custardy ice cream. So I'm going to turn the heat back on. Okay, and we're gonna just get it just thick enough, okay? All right, so it won't take but a few minutes. Now, the thing is, you need to really do this about a day in advance because you need to chill your mixture in the refrigerator for, to me, I think 24 hours. Other people may do it different, and you could get by with 3 or 4 in the freezer, but you want to have everything freezing cold. You want the canister freezing cold. You've got your ice. You're going to have your salt. You want your mixture cold because the faster that it freezes, the less ice crystals that will form. So you're going to get that smooth texture instead of that gritty texture that a lot of people don't like when it comes to homemade ice cream. So one year we put peanut butter in it, and it was so good. Have y'all ever had peanut butter ice cream? It's one of my favorites. And so I thought today we could do a peanut butter ice cream. I don't know that we're going to do that today, but because I want chocolate chips. But peanut butter ice cream, and then put the grape jelly in at the very end, and so you would have a peanut butter and jelly ice cream, which would be like super great. So it would be really good. So what is your favorite ice cream?
My favorite. I really like pistachio. I think that's gonna be my favorite.
Yeah, I guess so. Cause you got the pistachios from the store, and then so she's been taking, peeling them all day or whatever, shelling them. It's worth it to her. See, I don't know if it's worth it to me. So I'm a lazy cook when it comes to that kind of thing. So the pistachio.
For pistachio.
Yeah, and then you could always get the green by putting the
food coloring in it.
Okay, so tip from my son, who's filming, by the way. Okay, so we made mint chocolate chip last year. And Forrest said to tell everybody today, if we have tons of mint growing outside. So we'll get the sprigs from the mint and all that. When you put that in here, you would put it in the hot mixture before you put it in the refrigerator, and you would just let that mint just kind of penetrate through the mixture, and then you would have it already flavored. Then when it comes out, you could put the green color in if you wanted to, and then along with your chips, and then you could do it all together, or you could put the chips in at the end. So, but you would have to, of course, get the mint sprigs out when it comes out of the refrigerator. So you would definitely need to do that. All right, so how is this looking? What do you think? Is this thick enough?
It looks like it's got to go a little bit more.
All right. So I know with our custard that we make with the coconut pie, that we like it to be really thick so you can cut into it. This is not going to be as thick. We don't need it to be that thick.
No, it doesn't need to be that thick.
Yeah. So partly the reason that it is that thick is because we had
this really barely has to be thick at all.
All right. So
it's just about done.
All right, so we're letting it come to a boil, and it should be done in just a minute. And then I'm gonna pour it through the sieve, and we're gonna refrigerate it. How's that doing, y'all? It's getting there.
Close.
Yeah, I can tell it's kind of even reduced just a hair.
I bet it's
Okay. All right, here we go. Done. All right. Here we go.
Okay, you want to
All
pour
right.
it? Or?
Yeah, I'll do it. I
Okay.
don't want you to get burned.
Oh,
All right,
yeah,
you put
okay.
the, okay, make sure you stand back. All right, we're gonna do it in
In
the
the
sink.
sink?
I like to do this in the sink just in case we have some kind of mishap. All right, so I have a bowl underneath the colander. And so I'm pouring this into the colander, and I will use a spatula to make sure in just a minute that there are no, there are no bubbles. I mean, no big, thick clumps. There you go. All right. So this will make it so incredibly smooth. So this is going to be just fantastic. All right, so now, all right, so after we get that in, this is fun. I get to just sit here and talk. This is always fun. So as soon as this gets all the way in, I'm going to put this piece of plastic wrap that I already have. And just like pudding or any other custard, you're going to want to put the plastic wrap down onto the mixture so that it doesn't create like a film on top of it, but you can always remove that film, if you put it in there just straight away. But you might as well get every last piece of this goodness that you can get. So you can see how thick that is and how good that is going to be when it churns in the ice cream maker. This is going to be like super great. Okay, so yes, getting every last bit of goodness. All right, so I'm just going to put this right down in here. Okay, and then I'm going to put that in the refrigerator. And I made some.
In it?
Yes, we do. Thank you. That's what I need you for. All right. So I'll peel that back. I may have to end up getting a new piece of stuff. I don't think I can make this work.
No.
I'll just put it in. Y'all just have to believe me when I say I'm going to get another piece of plastic wrap. All right. So I'll put a piece of plastic wrap on top of that in a few minutes. I'll just let it sit here for a second. And I'm going to get out the ice cream. So yesterday we made some, so it's been in the refrigerator for about 24 hours, and I want you to see it. I want you to see the texture of what it will look like. Look at this yummy, delicious, luscious mixture. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so now I'm going to just put this straight down into, now we soaked this ice cream maker because it is wooden, and it needed to expand so that it didn't leak when I put in the ice and the salt. So there's like a little thing down here that you gotta make sure that it's on so that it turns. It's gonna take me a second to make sure it's on there right. I think it is on there correctly, but I'm not positive. Just a second. All right. Graylin,
I can try.
okay, you wanna?
I don't know that I'll do any better.
Yeah, you'll do better. 2 is better than 1.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And here's the little kid apparatus that I was talking about earlier, where you could do this. Okay. So wait. Nope. Can't put that on yet. All right. So this is going down into the ice cream. Okay. And it has to attach also. There's a little catch down in there that it's got to do a little catch. There we go. All right, there we go. It's caught. Okay, and now I'm gonna put the top on, the lid. All right. Oh, very good, very good. Okay, so here's the lid. And now the motor. All right, so I'm left-handed, so if I do this a little strangely, just know.
Let's put it on this first.
All right. I was trying to make sure because this is where I was having the trouble. Hold on. All right, there we go. Now into the sides it goes. Oh goodness.
think that's on.
Yay for us. We got it. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it on just for a minute and see how loud it is. Pretty loud. Okay. So you can see that that's going to work. So what I do now is I'm going to put some ice down in the bottom. So I have my ice in here, and you'll probably end up needing an ice pick. Okay, so, and I have a cup that, sorry, I think, well, yeah, hold up. It needs to be smaller and smaller little pieces. All right. I can't get it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, yep. All right. See how big I can put these pieces in. All right. So I've got ice and salt already in here, and it is about halfway up. So it's getting a little bit too messy. I'm gonna take this on outside and I'll see you out there. All right, so we're outside and I am putting the salt in here. I put some salt a little bit in along the way, but I also had to put a little bit of water down in here so that I would make sure that something was touching the outside of the bucket at all times. So I'm putting a good bit of salt, and as it churns, and even now I'm going to turn it on for a minute, it'll get a little bit down in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for a second. All right, so it's kind of, it'll move around. I'm going to add a little bit more ice, and then I'm going to top it with salt. And I'm going to add probably just about all of this ice. It takes a whole entire bag, really, and you'll probably end up having to add ice as you go too. All right. So I like to use the smaller pieces, of ice, and then have a pick out here for the bigger pieces. All right, here we go. So this is going to make some delicious ice cream, and I will have the recipe up on the website. Probably this weekend or maybe even later today, I don't know, but it's really easy. So 4 cups of milk, 4 cups of heavy whipping cream, a little bit of vanilla, 2.5 cups of sugar, and 12 egg yolks, and you've got to have ice and salt and a little bit of vanilla, and you have got it made. So y'all, I will see you later after my stomach is full of this ice cream. I'll talk to you soon. Y'all have a great weekend.